this is kind of leading into what we just talked about, right? I posted a poll recently, and I asked the people, like, what do you care about more? Do you care about character, or do you care about quality more? And I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here so people can see the results. So we had 494 votes. This poll didn't get quite as many votes as some of the others that we've run, but essentially I asked the question, would you buy a super high quality figure of a character you don't love, maybe you only like them or indifferent, or do you find yourself caring more about the character first and the quality second? So character is most important, 75%. Quality of the figure is most important, 25%. So generally speaking, most people say obviously both. It's a multi-factored equation. Obviously, both are important. Most people are not going to buy Homelander from Star Ace just because they love Homelander, right? It has to be a good quality figure. That said, which is more important? Kiko, what do you think? When you're buying figures, do you look more at the character or the quality of the figure if you had to choose one?
That's a real good question because
like the Midman, right? Amazing figure.
Yeah, I mean,
but
I can't deny the fact that InArt knows how to do rooted hair. I mean, they obviously figured that out.
I mean, yeah, they do.
I mean, their Jokers are flawless off the line. Where's Daniel, by the way? Let me know.
He's around, bro. He's around. Daniel's here. Where you at, Daniel?
So with that being said, man, because I go back to Gus from last week. Yeah, the quality of the Mars one, whenever that releases, will probably be better. But I want a Gus to represent on the shelf now. So I'm like, okay, the character does mean more than the quality at this point. And it's decent enough to where like it could technically be a better stand-in even if I don't go the Mars route. But at the same time, do I want to have just a bunch of I know we're saying that, but do I want a bunch of mid quality looking figures? That's like the old way of the way the thing, those are like sideshow pieces at that point. Yeah, you got a bunch of clones from sideshow, and those are really, really poor quality, but you got a lot of characters. So now we have this new thing to where you have all these characters available, but do you want to have it's a perfect example for quarter scale. Do you want to have more niche characters that are quarter scale, really high pieces, or are you just going to do the flagship ones that were higher quality? And I think that goes back to the InArt debate, is that I want the highest quality of the best version of everything. It just depends on what's offered. For me, I don't know if I can fairly even answer this question just because I'm so back and forth. Because I live in the moment. So I will live with the best quality character that is available now to me. I don't really look too far into the future of like I'll just wait for the 3.0 whenever that comes out, because you never know if that's going to come. I don't know. And so I'm not going to actively pick up a Star Ace figure because I'd love to have the boys just because those look terrible. I think you make a judgment call on some of those. So I'm going to recuse myself from this question because I don't know if I can answer it. I don't think I can accurately answer it.
Dude, it's a tough one, man. It's tough because obviously it's both, right? It's multifactored. Again, you're looking at the character and the quality. But again, the figure can be amazing quality, but if the character is not one you really care about,
I'll just talk myself in circles one way or the other.
I mean, I guess
I can't decide.
You're probably going to prioritize yourself on other figures if it's not the right character. Like, for example, Moff Gideon. That figure looks great, dude. That figure looks great, but it's Moff Gideon, and it's like it's just not. It's season 3, and it just is what it is. But Riley, bro, character I think is going to be more important for you, considering you still have that amazing Spider-Man piece. Like, remember, I had the CC Toys Joel and Ellie for a long time, and I loved them, even though they really weren't great figures because it was Joel and Ellie, right? So at the end of the day, I feel like character for me would be probably the most important, but quality's right there. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that it is character for me, but like you said, quality is right there. It's kind of just a two-way question. It's hard to answer with that one. But for me, yeah, I'd say character because that's a lot of the reason why all of us really collect is because of what we see on our screen, what we're watching in the cinema, television shows. We have a genuine care and love for these characters, and we want to represent that on our shelves. And some of them maybe not be the best quality, like I said with my Spider-Man figure, but to me, it still represents Andrew Garfield's portrayal, and I just had to have it on the shelf, so I ended up picking it up. But like you said, it could go the other way, though. Sometimes people look at figures that are so quality that you don't even care as much for the actual character, but you want it because it looks so good. Like, I know one for me, even the Michael Jackson, and I'd say the Pennywise too, because I mean, I like Pennywise. I had the Hot Toys one, but the InArt one, every time I see it, it always tempts me because of how good it looks. It's just such a great looking piece. The rooted hair looks outstanding. So sometimes you don't even have to have as much a love for a character, but you just are amazed with like the actual artistry of the piece and the quality of it, that you're gonna go onto that boat and be like, you know what, I'm gonna try this out, see how it looks. So I think it's kind of a two-way question, but I'd say character for me is gonna be the number one thing. But another thing is where sometimes I don't get characters is a good option. Is one of my favorite characters like of all TV shows is Rick Grimes from Walking Dead.
Dude.
But I know 3-0 has the Walking Dead figures. I don't know if I like them enough, and I think the quality is there enough for me to dive down that line. So I love Walking Dead. I love Rick Grimes, but I'm still just banking on another company. I still have my prayers out there at one day if they can ever tackle it, but I doubt it. But yeah, I know they did recently do this. I think the sculpt is good, but I just feel like something about like their clothing and just tailoring, I just feel like it looks too like cheap to me.
It looks
I don't
super
know.
cheap. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it. So maybe I am kind of indifferent because that's exactly my point. I love Rick Grimes, but the quality is just subpar for me, where I'm just like, I'm gonna keep waiting for a premium brand. Like I said in art, I wish they can do it. I would be insane, but I can't get this. I really
I'm with you, Riley, because I saw this too, and I also love Rick Grimes, and I would love to have one. But I think it's just look at the size of the belt buckle, look at the size of the buttons. Like it just looks
the pants look like less detailed.
Yeah, it looks very out of proportion. That's my thing. Like it just, and I think 3-0 does some really great work, but they're so inconsistent. Like that's the problem. Like they make an absolute banger, and then they make an absolute opposite of a banger. Like they do. Yeah, they just make, and this Rick Grimes, I mean, yeah, the head sculpt looks good. The paint apps don't look that great. And it's like, and it's just the tailoring of the clothes, but the sculpt likeness that is there. Like it's there.
Yeah.
And the neck still seems fucked up. Like he almost looks like he has the neck again. Like it's, but again, if you really love Rick Grimes, you might buy this, right? But I'm with you, Riley. I'm holding out. I'm same with Homelander and the boys figures. Like I didn't really like the Toys Era ones either, but I really want a Homelander. I really want a Soldier Boy. I really want a Butcher, but it's just, I'm not willing to settle for something I don't think is, you know, worthy of being added to the collection, to put frankly. Like that's, you know. So
and as you do say, Will, buy nice or buy twice.
It is, bro.
That's
the case, bro. Because if you buy this Rick Grimes and then NR comes out with one, then you're going to sell this one and you're going to go buy the NR one when it releases in 5 years. Like it's going to eventually, like it's going to, but I mean, look, 3-0 does a great job. I do think they're a good company. It's just, I'm not thrilled with how this looks.
But yeah, it's not appealing.
No, unfortunately. And Walking Dead, it's like kind of, I don't know, kind of missed the boat on that one. But so